Hello and welcome for Make Menopause Manageable. I'm your guest, Dilyana Mileva, and I'm a sleep expert and menopause coach. And today I have a wonderful guest. As usual, we talk about the symptoms of menopause, of how you can be more healthy, happy, and fulfilled during the midlife. So today I welcome Rhonda Moxie Wu. So she's a two-time published author, certified health coach, speaker agent, business coach, founder of the Fresh Inspiration Show, and CEO of Vitality Heart Hub. With over 10 years in the business world as a CPA and 20 years in the health and wellness industry, she has overcome personal health struggles by learning how to stop, reframe, revitalize for herself, clients, and audience that she speaks with. Rhonda was in a thyroid medicine for 20 years, and she is going to share the key of vitality and success through using both physical and emotional awareness. A negative mindset will destroy positive intentions while working harder, leaving you fatigued with no quantum leaps result. She speaks to audiences internationally on how to increase healthy cash vitality and clarity of mind to live their life unapologetically, run their business as the passionate CEO that is ready to arrive and inspire. Welcome, Rhonda, on the show, and let me know how that all started. How did it come to this point and to do what you do right now, everything what you're doing?
I was, Diliana, like just like you introducing me, I was like, man, that's a lot of words. And then
That's
you're
a
like,
lot.
well,
It's
send
a
me
little bit
something
longer here.
so people know what you're up to. And I'm like, I'm listening, I'm going, man, I guess I gave you a lot of words there. I appreciate this space, Diliana. Us and you know how much like we wake up in the morning and we just think about this passion, and I know that the people that are listening to your podcast, they're like all in about their health. So I think we're in the right place, which I'm so excited about today. So I think about this as I really realized that our body is an emotional body. I've been starting to look at these things since I've been doing this for a while. I like think of all these different angles and like the latest step that personally helps me because I think about myself being my best VIP client, but I also think about, okay, so I know that. So how do I translate that when I'm working with people I get to get interviewed? So this is where I've been going with lately about this body, our body of ours being this emotional being is I think of our life, and this is really my story. How I got here is I look at my life, and I look at these bleeps that have happened. Something that's been significant, and we can go into our timeline and look at like all the positive things that happen in our life and kind of correlate them with how we up leveled in our life, how our body felt really good, how everything was flowing, if you look at the good stuff. But I really like looking at the stuff that really challenges us and really affects our health. So I do a timeline also on the big things that have happened in our life. Like I think about when I was in fourth grade and I lost my best friend. And that's when I really started noticing some major things happening and changing. I guess maybe my hormones, because our whole system is built on a hormone system. My belly started bloating, and I started feeling separated from everyone because I felt so sad that my friend passed away. But also chemically, there was something happening in my body that was shifting because I didn't understand how to handle all this stuff. I saw my friend every single day until she passed on. And she was almost like a mama to me, even though she was only a couple of years older than me. And the way that she passed on really, truly affected me. Her mom and dad, they were separating and getting a divorce. And her dad decided to build a bomb. And he took his life and my best friend's life. And how crazy that is. That's as far as I need to go into that story. But I didn't get the support that I needed. And my body started shifting to where I was like, well, why am I even living? Because my friend's not living, like being a fourth grade mind trying to grapple around this stuff. And I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. I start questioning that. And then also, why is my belly bloating? And now I started noticing, I'm 53 years old now, noticing, different bleeps in my life of some big struggles, that my whole hormone shift was off. And I didn't know how to hang out with people because physically I wasn't feeling well. So emotionally, but let's go in there physically. I physically was off. And I thought that everybody could see the change in me, which, being in fourth grade, no. I was still a slender girl. People didn't really notice that my belly was bloating, but I could feel everything. And anybody else feel that way? Like you have a bloated stomach, or you're having like your whole body just feels like just total big, and you feel like you just don't want to be anywhere. But like pretty much nobody's really going to notice, but you can feel it. Well, that's what I felt like. And that's many times how I felt every time there was something big happening. And so what I started really realizing is our timeline in life, how we can get a handle on things is start to look at what are the things that happen for you when you're in stressed situations so you can catch them soon and start picking up new tools to be able to handle it and not fall in the space of, oh, I'm getting older, that's why this is happening. Oh, this is supposed to happen because people tell me, my 40s or 50s or whatever age you are, that this is supposed to happen. And I truly believe that we have tools for everything. We can find stuff to shift things that aren't working. And we catch it before it becomes majorly chronic. And so that's what got me here, is that I'm living this life and learning so much about my personal health, and I'm helping others do the same. And I wake up every morning thinking about, how can I be the best me? How can I be the best coach? How can I bring food and herbs, which I truly believe can help reset our system? And how can I do that in a way that I feel up leveled? And that's the base I work off of.
It's important question everybody to ask yourself, right? So,
Yeah.
what is the concept that you talk about in working harder on your health but picking the low hanging fruit?
I love doing stuff that's easy, even though it's hard, but it's the easiest way route to go. And I find that usually we think that we have to take the hardest route to get big changes. For example, let's say that you are feeling out of sorts. Your body has more weight. You're feeling like mentally you're just struggling. And so you believe, now this is just, from being in the industry for a while, that if I work out really hard and then I eat perfect and then I do, like how aggressive I'm saying it, where I'm going is that aggressiveness is going to change everything, and I have to do it perfect, because if I do it perfect, then that will be perfect. And then everything will align. And then you start down those steps and you go, here, this is so not manageable. I can't even really connect with this, but a couple days ago, it just totally sounded awesome. But who can be perfect? Like everybody has their own vision of perfect. So Dilyana, you were talking about the low hanging fruit. What I believe is that we can do a lot of this stuff intuitively with good structure around it, really listening. The low hanging fruit is when you breathe in, you start looking at the tools that you have around you, or the food that you like right now that you will eat, and that maybe you haven't been doing lately because you've been off doing your thing, being afraid of certain things, or just off partying too much, which sometimes happens. You're just disconnected from everything. I really like to be connected, and I like to look at What are the things that I really like right now in food? That's your low hanging fruit. So that you don't change everything around you. And I call this the three energy revitalized pillars. So hang in with me here, Dilyana. I'm almost done. So the three energy revitalized pillars, if we do it in a simple way, first, it is make sure your body moves almost every day. Every day, of course, but I mean, like, kind of structure to it. Make sure you got some food going that is going to help you. Also, look at mindset because, like what we talked about when I was in fourth grade and the things that happen and mentally how we can shift our body. So the mindset's important too. So those are the three energy revitalized pillars: food, mindset, and body flow. Now the low-hanging fruit comes from what are the workouts that make you feel good? Not the ones that deplete you and you think you have to be on the treadmill for an hour, but those that you still feel good and you didn't really shift your body chemically so bad that you are so exhausted that you have to go take a nap or that your body's in pain. The low-hanging fruit in the workout would be what loves on your body? What makes you feel motivated and good? The next thing is what's the food that you'll eat right now that you'll put on your plate that you have different colors of vegetables and fruits on your plate that really serve your body? I say find every color you can find. Eat what you love. That's the low hanging fruit. That's the easy stuff. Mindset. If you don't do mindset work yet, go and find some gratitude in like personal quotes that maybe you say that you love. Partner with others. What are some of your friends and what are they saying? Go on the internet, find some real fun motivational quotes and also talks like these, things that make you feel happy. That's all the low hanging fruit. If you use all three, then you have a lot of moving parts that's going to transform your body in a quicker way because you're not just doing one thing, but you're kind of balancing so that you have a few things that got your back because that's the way that if you don't have the three is what I feel is that one way will kind of get stuck. So let's kind of play this game of like, how can we get free flowing and invest in ourselves and do it easy? Does that make sense, Diliana?
It's perfectly said. I think the balance is the key. The
Yeah.
balance is the key. I also talk about the balance and in teaching about the balance. I think that find the balance is the more important to, yeah, you need to have these three pillars for sure. Not if something doesn't work, that means something is off and you have, it was the balance. It was the balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does mean to be your best VIP client?
I bet other people say this, but I like live it. And what got me to start saying this is that I I was telling everybody else, to do all this work. Like, I mean, going to health coaching school and yada yada yada, like the things that like really, have brought me here today and just the specialty things I do. I was telling everybody else to do stuff, but I fully wasn't stepping into it. So I was on medicine for thyroid for 20 years. And that pill saved me. Man, I was like taking that pill, but it made me sad because I was a health coach that wasn't stepping into all my tools. And I was almost like well aware that maybe you shouldn't take that medicine anymore because intuitively I could feel it. Rhonda, you're not stepping into everything. But I was telling my clients to step into everything. And my clients were only, may I say, Diliana, half-ass in, like
Yeah.
halfway in. And I was like, oh, my clients, I was just like bad mouthing my clients because I was in that frame of mind. Well, I decided, what if I do what I'm telling other people to do, like I'm telling them to do? Like I'm like, like this like person who studies, but am I really testing this stuff? I started testing it. And the hardest part that I found about being my best VIP client helped me be a better coach. It's really hard to do these steps. It feels lonely at first. It feels confusing, even though somebody will give you a strategic plan. but we're not used to doing stuff for ourselves. Well, most of us aren't. And so when we start doing stuff for ourselves, it makes us very, very uncomfortable. But it helps us show up for everybody else because I know that we love doing stuff for others. So if we start taking care of ourselves, which may be a little uncomfortable or a lot, then we learn to be our best VIP client because instantly we start having more vitality. We're able to think clearer. We get rid of the afternoon slumps. Energy starts shifting. More aches go away. So that's the best, be your best VIP client. Feel it, understand what people are going through so that you can have the empathy and you can hold the space. Because the stuff that we end up doing, if you are a business owner doing this, that you get to learn to be able to hold a bigger capacity for somebody because you understand. If you're doing it for yourself, you as a mommy or somebody that works for somebody or like those kind of scenarios, you get to show up in a very different way. You learn to have more empathy towards somebody when they're coming at you and saying, do this, do that, because when we're working for people, sometimes those things, scenarios come up. We learn to be more gentle overall as a human being.
Exactly. I think we need first to take care of ourselves first and to fill our cup first to be able to share this knowledge and tools with others and to help and support others. Well said. Yes. I completely agree what you say. And how can someone get on their energized path solution and start creating a awesome lifestyle?
So I have this system that I kind of played with for years, and I don't use it a lot, but that's a really good question. I call it the Energized Path Solution. What I in that capacity, what I believe is that any of those holistic tools, because I'm full on holistic. I mean, as I talked about, I stopped taking medicine, figured that out, and I'm 5 years off of medicine. That if we start looking at our good days first and we start taking notice of what's happening in our world, journaling is the best way to write and talk to yourself. So I say, go get a journal and start talking about these like wonderful, fabulous things that are happening for you. Because you're going to have bad days too. Those days, maybe I don't want to say bad or good days because we learn so much when we're off. Now, when you have those days that are off, what's wonderful about this? Look in your journal, see what was happening around you to be able to implement that when you're having an off day. So let's say you wrote in your journal, I'm thinking really positive, and I had this great conversation with my friend, and we went into the movies. Well, I would start thinking those as tools. Spending time with a friend, having good relationships, and not telling your friends you're too busy for them. That's one of the sabotages that we do. It's horrific because it's wonderful to be able to spend quality time with our friends. So I would call those tools. Implement that during the time when you're having those hard days, when you feel like everything is just falling apart and you start coming at yourself, you start shaming yourself, and there's things that happen in our sphere. And we're known, the stat that's real important to me, we're known to say 60,000 words to ourselves. It's a study out there. It doesn't matter when you start looking at the next step here. 80% of those words that we say to ourselves are supposed to be negative. Like we really, because we're in a fight or flight kind of scenario in our brain. Well, 90% of those negative words are cycled words over and over and over. And if you think of something that's real, real negative, and you think of it longer than even 90 seconds, it goes in that 90% over and over and over feed. So then we can really be at ourselves, and that's the truth. Let's keep that energized path solution, which is healing our body, moving it forward. That's really the definition, so that we can keep healing and be able to learn more about ourselves. Then we'll be able to tap into our intuition because we'll feel comfortable in silence. Now, our brain doesn't always silence itself, but meditation and listening to ourselves can happen at any time. Yesterday I was on my ranch and I had this big apparatus on, and it's called a blower, but I was blowing the yard. I was like sweeping the yard is basically, but it gave me such creative time because even though the blower is so loud and I had these plugs in my ears, it gave me a moment to walk around and do and hear the same thing over and over. So my brain got real positive because I was moving and I was really having a good day. So I say, let's get quiet or let's start doing those things that we get to feel very happy with. That'll bring in your low hanging fruit. That'll start opening the path that will give you more information about you. The more you know about you, the more like the world is going to open for you. What is your passion? What do you want to do out there? That's what the Energized Path solution is all about.
Yeah, learn about yourself and watch your thoughts and words. If it's there negative, something you flip it in a positive, all right? Yeah, it's so important to stay in the positive, be in the positive no matter what happened around you and how you feel. And yeah, watch your thoughts, your feelings, because sometimes your feeling can really get you sick and
Yeah.
also can heal you, depend of the intensity of the feeling and which is if it's positive or negative, that can affect your cells in a cellular level for sure. So it's a wonderful concept. It's a wonderful concept. Thank you to share that. So what is the
Yeah.
concept that you work with the healing the body through the heart?
So, what was the question? What to like healing the heart? Is that what it was?
Healing the body through the heart.
Oh my gosh, I love that question. Okay, so I used to close my heart off all the time. And I only opened it up like to my husband, to my mom, and like nobody else. Like, how dare you even ask a question, you like such and such thing about me because it's none of your business. Like, I just like that. That's just kind of how generationally I was raised. Very rough. Sometimes people would meet me and they would, even though I was a CPA, I was an accountant, and I did all these professional things, but I really had this like, stay away from me kind of attitude. Oh, and I thought I was so cool, by the way. When our ego gets in the way. So, the heart is one of the most powerful things that we can live and be open with. It's to be wise, to be intuitive is really being in the heart so that we can hear what's our next steps. We can start healing the body through the heart is because you start thinking about your body in ways like sharing with your personal self how much you love yourself. It's kind of embarrassing to talk like this if you're not in your heart. You're like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to go work out. And you look in the mirror and you go, okay, I feel good, depending on what the mirror tells you or the scale. Well, how do we get away from that? Because that's just kind of almost like abuse to our body. Like when we look in the mirror, what I love doing when I look in the mirror? Like I get to love on this body. And I don't have a specific look in mind, but I look at me and I look at my heart and I start loving on the mirror. And I used to not. And so if we keep going that route of opening up our body through our heart and healing, is that your nervous system starts speaking to you. You can start hearing when you're shaking inside, or you can feel it. And there's ways to do that. And when you start noticing you have control over a shaking nervous system that's trying to reset itself, and it can be that you've eaten something that really is messing with your body and your body's trying to fix that, trying to figure out how can I rebalance. That's the nervous system. But when you learn all these strategies, you start learning you have control to be able to calm the nervous system. And the heart will get you there because the heart helps you stay wise and intuitive with yourself. And you go into that the nervous system, you say, I love you. And it goes deeper into what we call the ATP process. That's where all the food that we eat, the water, the protein, like the sugar, that everything combusts at once, because that is at the base of where we heal. When we heal, we get to take all the stuff out that's not serving our body, and we can do it quite quickly, even though it's holistic, if we truly believe it. So it depends on what level you are holistically and how much you really feel what I'm saying. But when you start learning these strategies, you start making better decisions about food because it feels good. So better is you, not a diet that somebody's going to specifically give you, unless they're structurally getting to know you and guide you on those foods. They're going to help you with your liver, your kidneys, your heart to rebalance the hormone system. Get smart with the body, start listening, keep telling yourself that you love yourself, and your heart will help you open up to others so you have great, fabulous relationships. It transforms anything and everything that you touch, because I believe in oneness. How you do one thing, it affects everything else. So I love this because now I can say, here, wait, I get to live the life that I wanted to, that I thought I never could have. And you start aspiring to quantum leap, to make bigger leaps in your life. And you get realistic. You don't wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to make money and I'm going to have a Ferrari. And like that kind of thing. I said it like that Ferrari, like it's a bad thing. It's a good thing if you have good intentions why you want that Ferrari. So I'm not going to go there. But when you start really building these big things, sometimes you don't even know what the outcome is going to come out of it, because you learn to quantum leap and you learn to bend time, because everything moves faster, faster than you ever thought could happen. So this is where this can go. Dilyana, this can be big. We can just like talk about this all day.
Yes, self-love, it's really something that I'm passionate to talk about also. It's so, so important. So, so important.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a book that is 14 Days for a Flat Belly Guide to a Vibrant, Energetic, Sexy You. That is a
Yeah.
bold title. Are you working with the concept or the actual physical body having a flat belly?
Okay, so I have my book here. I wrote it maybe probably 7 years ago. Okay, so the title sounds superficial. 14 days to a flat belly. How dare you even say that? So it took me a couple of years even to release it, to have the strength to, to deal with the naysayers, because I believe that this is a superficial name. But when you come at it this way, so hear me out. When your hormones are off, doesn't your belly bloat? Don't you feel like you need some, extra support so that your belly is not pushing against your pants? You can do that in 14 days. The definition of a flat belly really is, let's calm down the hormones that make our belly bulge. When you're under stress, your belly's really going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it won't stop. You're like, I'm barely eating anything, but you start realizing the concept that food is not the only thing that really tones and takes care of our body. So the 14 days is about the 3 energy revitalized pillars. It's the gentle body movement, keeping your body in alignment so you don't overwork and hit the hormones that really are trying to help you, like the adrenaline and the cortisol and those hormones that just are really big and bulk up the stomach to try and help you get through the day. So you want to calm those hormones. So in the book, there is stuff around mindset, feeling positive about yourself, and testing you. There's some questions every single day for 14 days. And then you also have a food structured program that's good for 14 days. It's good for you to play with all the food that you'll eat right now. And it'll make a big transformation. And then also the movement. There's a lot of gentle movement in there to keep everything flowing. And if you do that, you know what happens? Things transform. Cells that were sitting in your body that were just stuck, that maybe your body didn't even acknowledge that this area of your body that it forgot about, because a lot of times we have to repattern the body to remember, down to the pinky, all the way down to up to the head, like, and talking to every component in our body so we can start moving things out. And the biggest thing that I started noticing why I loved on this book even more and more was that I heard people say, Debbie, who is in this book, she said, I went to the doctor and the doctor said my liver wasn't doing very well. She's taking a medicine that's been very hard on her liver, but her doctor needed her to do other things to try and help her liver so she could keep taking the medicine because that was her route. That's what she decided. So he said, come back in 2 weeks. And she said, Rhonda, I want to try this program. Within 14 days, her doctor took the test again for her, and her enzymes, everything was on with her liver. And it was because she didn't feel guilty as she was going through the 14 days that she had to do it a certain way because it's a very open process. And then also the motivation that she got from it, she just felt good inside. And she kept a journal too, which helped her. And so she was a really fun one to listen to. But this is what can happen in 14 days. Think about it if you do something like this for a lifetime. It just kind of gets you set and get you going. And you go, here, wait, this is easy. It's not like I have to be on this high protein diet or high carb or like high fiber every meal. But you really start learning where your yeses are and where your nos are. And I think that's how we live to survive. That's how I stay off of medicine, is by basically going towards the 14 days to a flat belly. I live my life like that.
And where people can purchase the book, where is available?
Come to Amazon and you can go to, I have an author page. I can give you the link, but it's a little bit of a long URL. But you can find it right on Amazon, 14 Days to a Flat Belly, Guide to a Vibrant, Energetic, Sexy You.
And how people can reach out and find you, to talk with you, to speak with you,
I
to
would
help them,
love
to
that.
support them.
Oh, you know what I wanted to do, Dilyana? I can actually give you a free PDF of this book.
Oh wow,
Um,
it's so wonderful.
I forgot. Okay, so I have so when we started, we introduced me as Rhonda Lou Moxie because every time I go out and I speak, that's just kind of my fabulous fun name. But
Yes.
my name, where you can find me, if you're not booking me for speaking engagements, is rhondaliebig.com. And so we'll make sure that we get that spelt right for you because
Yes,
Liebig
yes,
is a German last name. But rhondaliebig.com/14 days gift. 14, number 14 days gift.
yes,
That will get you to a landing page, opt in. You'll get the PDF of the book, you'll get a planning video, and then with that PDF, it'll guide you for 14 days, master grocery list, and then also recipes. But it'll get you connected with me. And I talk to you all the time if you're a part of my newsletter. And if you want to directly contact me, then contact me with Rhonda at rhondaliebig.com, which is my email. And then that would be a great way. Just tell me you heard me from Dilyana and that you had some questions about what we were talking about. But yeah, I'm here.
yes. Yes, I will post the link on the show notes. For sure they will gonna have it, and I encourage you, anyone who listen now, to reach out to Rhonda and talk with her about these questions, how to get the belly flat in 14 days, and it's a wonderful thing more. So thank you again to be my guest. Thank you to all listeners to listen always the show, and keep listening and share this show. And I'm glad to be here. I see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.